Good morning. So we had a little technical difficulty earlier. I have Miss Patricia Russell here, joining me on my Monday coffee talk show. I apologize for my microphone earlier. So I read all your bio, without the sound, which is perfect, right? So Miss Patricia Russell is an inspirational singer, speaker, author, and songwriter. She has been singing since age of 9. She has sung on national television broadcasts and shared the stage with respected speakers. She has been featured artist in several musical cantatas locally, and also in the U.S. She has the honor of leading worship at the kickoff event for the 2006 Just Give Me Jesus Toronto Revival with Anne Graham Lotz. Ms. Russell also served along with her husband, Reverend Wayne Russell, who is an associate pastor in Brampton, Ontario. Together, they have been guest hosts on local early morning show called in the program Nightlight Live. Mm-hmm. That's a mouthful.
I know. Nightlight Live. Yeah, it is.
That's a mouthful.
It is.
Which is formerly aired on the CTS television network. She's presently a speaker and also sings to audience of all ages at various conferences and seminars. They have 2 adult children, actually. And one of them just graduated recently, right?
Yeah, my son. Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations. You must be so proud.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited for him.
Pat is also she has 2 CD recorded. One is a studio recording. It's called Lord, I Trust You. And the live recording, which is called Draw Me Near. Her first book is titled Lord, I Trust You, Words of Encouragement to further encourage and share life lessons as a result of her cancer journey. She is also one of the several authors of 2019 #1 bestseller, Crushed Diamonds Still Sparkle, which can be purchased on Amazon. And also, it will be definitely an encouragement to readers of all ages. And you can all find her on her Instagram at Pat Russell Sings and her Facebook, Patricia Russell Music and Speaking. Did I miss anything else?
No.
Like, you are such an accomplished woman. I am so afraid that I missed something there.
No, you haven't missed a thing. And there's so much more to do. Sometimes we underestimate what we've done until you hear it read,
Mm-hmm.
Until you hear somebody read what you do and you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, I did that.
Right. And it was amazing. As I was reading through this, I'm like, oh my God. And what really struck me was when I followed you on your Instagram, one of your posts was really about you were describing your journey going through as a cancer survivor. And it struck me as, this is such an amazing woman who have gone through so much. And here she is, she's presenting herself, she's putting herself out there, and she's showing the world that, I was in the same boat as you were, but here I am, coming and pulling through all this. And I love your smile. I love your personality and all the stuff that you're going through, like the things that you're showing the world. It was just amazing. And it's really in alignment to what I teach to clients, to people, to women. And also it's a reminder for myself, every day when I see the challenges, you are the person, you are the role model that I need to look up to. And as a reminder, I can do this. I've got what it takes to do this.
Michelle, I'm so humbled. You say that you look at my IG, and I think everything that you have just said to me is what you did to me. I was following you and I was reading your posts, and I kept going, oh my gosh. I'm like, oh, she sounds like me. She sounds like me. Oh my gosh. How can we, oh my gosh,
Right.
I think that's what happens when we reach out And when we try to connect with people, we realize that, there's people out there that have same feelings as
Mhm.
we're just in different bodies
Right.
and in different places. So let's
Yeah.
connect. Let's encourage each other. Let's build each other. Let's help each other move forward.
I love that. And that was the reason why, I wanted to reach out to you in terms of like, oh, I have this coffee talk show where I like to, my purpose, my intention is really to inspire other people who may be going through the same journey and similar experience, and then that they can have something to listen to and kind of hear other people's story. So I thank you for this opportunity, to have that to my audience, and then I think so many people can benefit from hearing from you.
Thank you.
So with that said, I would like to, kind of just get your input in terms of, tell us about your story. Who are you? I know I read all your bio, but I'm sure, there's your version of who you think you are. So I'd like to hear your story.
Well, thank you for asking, and thank you again for the invitation to share, to trust me to share with your audience. I don't take it lightly. I consider it an honor, and I think I would just say that I am a woman who wants to reach other women and other people, connect with other people. I was born in Birmingham, England, and I came to Canada in 1972 when I was 7 years old. And I have to change my bio a little bit because I was singing then when I left when I was 7. I had 3 brothers at the time. My mom and dad are from Jamaican descent, and they wanted to move us over to Canada to get a better life and raise their children here. And so we've been in Canada since then, so over 40 odd years. Since then, I had another brother. My mom had another child when she came to Canada, and we grew up together singing, very much in the arts. We sang as a trio together, and each one of us can play some instrument. And my brother and I went on a little bit more professionally. My brother professionally plays piano, and he actually sang on my recent recording. We came here when I was 7 to start a new life, and so Canada has been home. And since then, I went to school here. I got married to my best friend, who is also of Jamaican descent. And it's funny, I said I would not ever marry a Jamaican. Never say never, because a lot of the nevers that happened. He's a wonderful man. And today is June 17th. We are actually celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary. So
Congratulations.
I thank you very much. Today is an extraordinary day because, as you Californians know, the Raptors are celebrating their NBA championship down in the city. So if you go on live anywhere afterwards, you'll see about 2 million people downtown Toronto in a parade. So I get to spend time with you. I get to
Oh,
celebrate with our basketball team, and I get
cheers
to
to that.
yeah, and I get to celebrate on my anniversary. So that's a little bit about my background of coming here, but I've always loved people, and I've always had this desire to connect with people. Believe it or not, Michelle, I'm very introverted.
Really?
Yes, I know. My children would say otherwise. There's a crazy side of me that can be
Yeah.
very outgoing, but I tend to be very introverted. But the thing about I realized very early that I like to put my thoughts on paper, and I think because I was an only girl, not I think I know because I was an only girl, and my brothers were older. They used to leave me at home a lot, so in a way I felt a little bit rejected. And so what happened with that was I turned that rejection to pen and paper. And I would put my thoughts out on paper. Uh, and I'd write poems and I'd write songs and I would, so, back then you would call it journaling. I didn't know if it was journaling, but I did keep
Right.
a diary.
Yeah.
And I just love to put my thoughts on paper. And so that's where the creative writing kind of stemmed from.
That's so interesting. I think along the storyline, what I picked up was, what I heard was your husband, you said never say never because for some reason you said you weren't going to marry a Jamaican woman, but it turns out, well, this is what happened. You never had that intention of, becoming a songwriter, but here you are, at very young age, you were introverted, so you start journaling. And who knew along that process you became a songwriter?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how you start doing things and you don't know where it will take you. But throughout even growing up, I would hear people say, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you love. So if you like writing, write. If you like drawing. And we often teach parents, when they have children, watch your children, get familiar with
Mm-hmm.
children, see where their bent is.
Mm-hmm.
Because every child has a bent or a direction that they're going. You can see it very early on if they're attracted to drawing or
Mm-hmm.
writing or music.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my, my son often would do things that I, as a child, might have hurt myself,
Right.
but it turns out he has really good hand and eye coordination. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's really important for parents to see the activities that children garner to and make a note of it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's soccer or if it's basketball, encourage them to
Right.
develop those skills
Right. I
really early on.
Yeah, I love that. And it really brought to the fact that, a lot of time, we don't know where the future is heading us to. And you kind of just, go in there and do what you do best and just trust the process where it's taking you. And it's always taking you to some places it's best fitted for you.
Very
And
true.
I truly believe that, each one of us come to this place with a talent, with a gift, and our purpose is really to provide that, using that gift and using that talent, and to serve the rest of the world so that we can benefit from each other.
Very, very true.
Mm-hmm. So, what inspires you to start helping others? Because I know you do a lot of coaching for people as well. So,
Yeah.
what inspires you to start helping others?
When I think, as you said, you were talking about things that internally, when we find out what our passion is, or
Mm-hmm.
let me put it this way, when I realized that in talking to people, I was seeing an effect on people.
Mm-hmm.
People would comment and say, I feel so much better after talking to you,
Mm-hmm.
um, and listening. And I would spend, people would come and they would talk, and I would spend time listening to them.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it didn't seem like I had done anything. I felt like I didn't give them money or I didn't give them anything tangible that you could put your hand on. But
Mm-hmm.
they would walk away and they would tell me, "You have no idea. Just the fact that you listened,
Mm-hmm.
you asked me some questions, and it wasn't even a lot. You don't know how you helped me." And anytime that we can help somebody, we should
Mm-hmm.
never take it lightly. I found that my energy, my joy,
Mm-hmm.
was in helping people. So I would often say that, even to audiences or even to my kids, I would
Yeah.
say, if you see somebody, if you see somebody in need and you recognize that you can meet that need,
Mm-hmm.
never miss that opportunity. It might just be, does anybody have a quarter? And you happen to have a quarter to provide that need. Because you do not know, that quarter might have been just all that they needed to,
Mm-hmm.
to close the gap, to do what they need to do. So I found joy very early on in singing. I would come alive when I sing. I would get
Mm-hmm.
responses from people. And when I wrote things at school, my teachers would give me feedback. That
Mm-hmm.
that was a great assignment, or that was a great article. And so
Yeah.
when I felt joy when I do it, and I would get the response from people that what you've done, what you've said has poured life into me. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the turning point was when I'd share my story,
Mm-hmm.
share things that have happened to me, and people would say, "Thank you for sharing." And
Yeah.
that's a blessing. And so it just energized me. It came alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I'm hearing also is that, by providing and sharing your story to other people, and really truly listen to other people, what they have to say, how do they feel when you share those story? It almost sounds like, in a way, they're also serving you.
Yes.
Like, they're giving you that joy, they're giving you that fulfillment, they're
Yes.
providing you with that happiness that you felt, with my little tiny story, where I may feel insignificant to the rest of the world, but when other people hear it, they get inspired, and that inspiration, it also serves me to give me joy.
Yes.
So it almost sounds like
Absolutely.
we're interrelated, kind of, we're all connected. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And I think, Michelle, if we all get that, if we can all hang on to that or grab that, we're coaches. And so when we listen to people and we allow people to share their story, and we
Hmm.
walk alongside them, and help them to move forward as to what they're wanting to reach,
Hmm.
as a coach, we do that. But you could be baking a cake. There are people that like to bake, and they grew up loving to bake, and that was their joy and passion. And nothing brings them more joy than somebody tasting what they've created, what they've made, and they
Hmm.
say, "Oh my goodness, you do not know how the way that you particularly put all those ingredients together and
Right.
presented me with this product just lifted me up." And so people want to come back for more. And
Yeah.
so we all have a gift. We all have a purpose. And when we're only happy when we live out that purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree with that. What would you say that the message you're trying to send out to with your action and with your words? And-
Um, I my two words this year was focus and intention.
mm,
So I try to do things intentionally, whether it be spending time with people. I'm very um, intentional about how I spend my time.
mhm,
And the message that I'm wanting to give out to people is that time is precious. Time is something that you can't get back. If anybody's gone bankrupt, if you lost money, or you've lost clothing, or you've lost things, you can get those things back, but you can't get back time.
mhm,
So I put out the message to people that everything that happens in your life
mhm,
has a purpose and an intention.
mhm,
It's never lost. No,
mm,
nothing is wasted.
yeah.
So regardless of what you've been through, it could have been an accident. It could have been a mishap with finances. It could be a relationship
Mhm,
that's not really gone the way that you want it to go. But
mhm,
those experiences, every experience serves a purpose to make you better, and also for somebody else to learn
mhm.
something from your lesson. So nothing is wasted.
I love that. I love that. And it's really about the choice of how we use that time, in terms of, you can decide to sit there and then start, dwelling on all the negativity that's happening to you, or you can take it from a positive perspective and really just making truly and living fully with your purpose and what you can do to contribute and turn that around from the negative to the positive, or whether to move yourself forward, in believing and really living that purpose, what you were intended here to serve.
Right,
I Yeah, I love that message.
right, right.
So, I mean, thinking back, we were talking about your early childhood and how you didn't know that you were this extroverted. Actually, you were pretty extroverted. But as you mentioned, in the past you've been introverted. You like spending time writing alone in your room, or just putting a lot of thoughts into journaling. If you were to meet that younger person of yourself today, what advice would you give that person or give yourself?
Um, I would say to that younger me,
Mhm,
um, share your story more. Don't be afraid of the response that you would get back. I would share exactly what somebody taught me years ago when I was very nervous about standing before an audience. As much as I loved getting up, sometimes I would be nervous. And
Mhm.
one of the tips that they gave was love your audience. I know that's maybe something hard for a younger version to understand, but if you learn about love very early and you learn to love people, um, if you love your audience, you'll know that what you have to share
Mhm.
um, will impact somebody. So I would say to my younger self, don't be afraid to share your story. Um, I would have probably taken my poems and read it out more to people. Uh,
Mhm.
I would have taken more risks. And I would have said to her, don't be afraid about the response that you get from people. Just
Mhm.
Nike coined it, just do it.
Just do it.
Because as you do it,
Yeah.
you grow. As you
Yes.
do it, you gain confidence.
Mhm.
As you do it, you're giving, you're loving. And even though it may not be reciprocated right away, but as you give out, it will come back. It's a universal law of sowing and reaping, that if you sow something good, if you sow whatever you sow,
Mhm.
positive or negative, you're going to get it back. And I wish that I would have told my younger self that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. And I think even thinking back with myself, I kind of sometimes I hold back on sharing my story, my journey to my audience or even to the rest of the world or to people I come across, on a daily basis. There's
Right.
always part of me, don't kind of like wanted to hide back behind my protecting myself behind the wall.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't think that's really serving any people, anybody well, because what if my story actually touched one soul, then that would make my day. But by
Hmm.
me holding it back behind that wall, it's
Hmm.
really not serving anybody any better. So
Right.
yeah.
But Michelle, do you think that's a part of our human nature? It's almost a part of. I'd almost say it's an aspect of fear
Okay.
that we all are constantly fighting against. But once we conquer it, like once we jump in the water, um,
Hmm.
I wrote about in my book, Lord, I Trust You, that when I was 10, I nearly drowned,
Hmm.
and I loved water,
Hmm.
but I accidentally floated into the deep end, and I was rescued. I had to be taken to the hospital and everything. But the interesting thing about that was I wasn't afraid of
Hmm.
going back to the water until my mother heard
Hmm.
that I was going to the water. And my mother would warn and say, don't let her go to the water
Hmm.
because of what happened before. And so, you hear it and it would generate a cycle
Hmm.
of, of fear.
Yeah.
And you have to be intentional about facing that fear.
Hmm. I don't think it's human nature. I think a lot of the fear that we have are actually being conditioned.
Yes,
So
very
so
true.
I think when God made us or when the universe created us, or however the physicists, the scientists believe how humans are here, I believe that we were truly fearless, and we were meant to do many great things. But
Absolutely.
what had happened is throughout the years and throughout from generation to generation, we have this baton that we're on a running tracks, right? So we have this baton that's being passed down from generations to generation, and each time it passed down, there's a sense of fear, standards. Women need to be certain ways, or men need to be acting certain way. Men are not allowed to cry, or it's looked down upon if you cry in public or if you cry in general. So there are always certain standards within the society that was passed down to us generation to generation. But without all that condition, by nature, we're actually fearless individuals.
I do agree with you that we were created. We were created fearless. I do believe that. So my belief is that because of the fall in the garden, because of we invited fear
Mm-hmm.
into our lives, we were created perfect.
Yeah.
But as a result of the fall, we gained fear. But as we like children become fearless, become fearful when we emphasize the fear part. So I
Mm-hmm.
think for like a child who's fallen, sometimes you see parents, oh, be careful, just watch them because they might fall. Well, in order to walk, they're
Yeah.
going to fall. It's not so much a negative thing as
Sure.
much as letting them do it, but letting them get up. And if you watch most children, they want to get up and they
Yeah.
want to try again and they want to go on. But the adult who has the fear kind of wants to perpetuate that fear into them. Well, no, don't. They fell off the bike the first time, so don't let them get back on.
Right.
Where we have to decide, do I want to encourage that mindset
Mm-hmm.
or do I want to intentionally say, no, I want to learn to ride that bike. So
Right.
I might fall one time, but I'm going to get up and I'm going to do it.
Yes.
And as we come around each other and say, you can do it, all a child needs to hear is, you can do it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing what happens to the mindset of that child.
Right. And it really comes down to, having a conscious parent, how is our parents raising us, and are
Yes,
they being conscious or not? And what message are they sending to their child will
yes,
really determine, how newer generation, how they're
yes,
going to be turned out.
yes,
So us, it really starts from us, on
yes,
this generation, in myself, this very moment,
yes,
what kind of message I'm sending to myself,
yes,
as well as to all those surrounding us.
yes.
Yeah.
True. Very true. Very true. But we can't do it alone. I mean, like, look at you and I connecting and sharing our story and just speaking life into each other.
Hmm.
I think we've empowered each other to keep moving forward.
Yes. Yes. Uh, Looking into your future, if you were to describe it with 3 words, what would they be?
If I were to use 3 words to describe my future, I would say they're focused, intentional, and productive. Uh,
Mm.
is that 3? Focused, intentional, and productive. Yeah.
Why?
And
Why did you choose those words?
why I would use those words is um, because there's been a mind shift over the years that in
Hmm.
order to reach goals, you have to focus on the goal. And so I've been using that word a lot, and I've been really working hard to stay focused. So speaking to you, making the commitment to speak to you. It's been in my appointment book. What do I need to do to be ready for it? Being
Hmm.
on time, being intentional about it, that, everything's working around that time and productive because I felt like I've lost a lot of time in the past.
Hmm.
So, I know many of us may have regrets, and I would say I'm in the kind of what they call the fall season. I'm in
Hmm.
my 50s. So I feel like the the years before that have gone by, they've been preparation years. Yes, I can look at them that way, but I also look at the future as time moving. It feels like time's moving so fast
Hmm.
that I want to be productive with the time that God has given me left to be on this earth, that everything I do matters and that everything I do has an intended purpose. I don't want to be a
Hmm.
slacker. I know
Hmm.
better now. So now
Hmm.
that I know better and that I know more,
Hmm.
I'm responsible.
I love that.
Thank
You brought up you're in the fall season, and you related that to the age. I just wanted to say that you're actually in the blossom season
Okay.
because
Talk to me.
you had you had gone through so many things, experienced so many different things and challenges, and you overcame them. And now you're at a place where you're actually blossom, and you have that wisdom, you have that ability because of what you have gone through. Now you have that wisdom of bringing it forward. So it's like, you were still in the developing stage earlier, and now you're ready to blossom.
I
So
love that.
I totally think that you're in the blossom stage
I
rather than the
love
fall.
that. You know, you said that word, and as soon as you said that word, what came into my mind was a tree. It's spring. It's spring here, supposedly in Toronto. We've had some crazy weather, but
Uh-huh.
you can see the trees that blossom. Like a couple of weeks ago, we have what they call the cherry blossoms. They only
Hmm.
come out for a certain amount of time.
Right.
So people dash down to see these cherry blossoms because they know that they're not going to last there for a season. But when I hear blossoms, I see flourishing, I see brightness, I see explosive colors.
Hmm.
So thank you for that. I like that.
Yeah, you're in the blossom stage. So, you're in the full purpose. You're living the full purpose of your life.
So watch out, Michelle.
I know. You're fearless, you're focused, you're intentional, you're being productive, you're in this blossom stage, and watch out, people. Like, she's coming to
Here
your
we
way.
come.
Here she comes.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it.
So, with the remaining time, I know this is probably going to be a real weird request, but I was hoping that since you're singing, so I was hoping that maybe you could sing for my audience.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Um, now let me see. Do I have music to accompany? You know what? I will do it a cappella. Um, I will do an a cappella version of a song that I wrote. I'll do a verse and I'll do a chorus. How's that?
Sounds great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. You created the moon. You created the stars. We look around and see your handiwork. How awesome is our God. How marvelous are his works. How awesome is the God I serve. You are God, far above all gods, Alpha and Omega, beginning and the end. You are God. There is no other above all. You are God. No warm ups or anything. Oh,
Woohoo!
Michelle.
This is amazing. This is so amazing. And it really brings a lot of warmth, and there's a flow of warmth within me, and I'm sure to the rest of the audience as well, as I hear the word, you are God. And I think it's totally true that we need to start seeing ourselves as our own creator. However you want to believe, whatever religion that you're in, you can call it God, you can call it Buddha, you can call it the universe, whatever the word that you want to use. It's always a reminder that we are here on this universe with a purpose. And in order to live fully, is that we need to start stepping into that purpose by sharing our story, giving out our talent, and doing whatever it takes to truly, fully living with that purpose.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of my favorite songs on the CD is titled I Never Lost My Praise. And the message of that song is that in every situation, in every struggle, I may have lost some friends, I may have gone through some hardships, but I never lost my praise. And I would encourage your audience that, whatever you go through, you can find some joy in it. Don't give up. Just keep
Mhm.
pressing on and keep pressing forward, and you win.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, with that, even though we had a little technical difficulty earlier, I so appreciate you joining me today, and I have learned so much. I continue to learn so much from you, just by following your Instagram. And I would love for us to meet up one day, hopefully I'll
Yes,
travel to
yes.
Toronto.
I have a friend in
Yes,
California now.
yes, you do. You do. And so, with that said, would you tell us where we can find you?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at Pat Russell Sings. That's 2 S's and 2 L's. On Facebook, Patricia Russell Music and Speaking. I also have my own other page, which is Pat Russell. So that's Facebook, that's Instagram. I'm not on Pinterest too much, and on Twitter, I'm on at Pat Russell Sings. So I will be sharing some stuff from Michelle's posts. On some of those social medias, but that's where I'm at. And I'm in Toronto, Canada. If anybody's coming to Toronto, now's the time to come because we don't have any snow.
and or just reach out to you through the internet, because
Reach
now,
out for me to the internet. Email
yeah.
is you can reach me at patrussellsings@gmail.com. And I love email, and you can DM me on Instagram. And I'm getting more proficient at my social media and technology because I'm a learner. So I love to.
Mhm.
Thank you so much,
And
Michelle.
you're being productive.
And exactly. I'm learning something every day. I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you
Thank
have a
you.
great week, and start
Thank you.
celebrating.
I
Start
will. Yeah.
celebrating the Raptors.
I'm celebrating with my raps. Thanks, California, for giving us the opportunity to take away the championship from you.
We'll
Listen,
thank Thompson. We'll thank Thompson. I hope
listen.
he's doing great, but
I
I
do
really
too.
thank him.
And
Yeah.
Durant, you guys are gracious and have been very gracious to us. I understand that the Golden State Warriors took out a page to help celebrate the Raptors. So,
Yeah.
it's a win-win. Thank you,
Definitely
Michelle.
win. Yeah.
Thank you
Have a
so
good
much.
day. See you
Bless you.
soon.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.